Okay, I call to order this regularly scheduled meeting, I call to order this special meeting of the Dearborn Charter Commission on March 20th at 6:03 PM. Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner Hashem.
Here?
Commissioner Harrison.
Here.
Commissioner O'Connor.
Here.
Commissioner O'Cray. Here. Commissioner Dudgeon.
Here.
Commissioner Hawkins.
Here.
Commissioner, I'm sorry, I don't have my note here. Commissioner Bailey.
Here.
Commissioner Dolmage.
Here.
Chairman Abdullah.
Here.
Did I get everybody?
Yes.
Okay, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. All right, moving on to administrative and maintenance items. Today's special meeting is a very limited agenda, as special meetings are, specifically to, one, formally adopt a resolution of the commission's adoption of the amended charter that will include all of the Attorney General's review and revisions, which act as a informal approval of the charter. And when I say approval, what I specifically mean there is that since October, the Charter Commission has, along with Corporation Counsel, has been meeting with the Mr. Elworth and Ms. Lisa Barwick from the Attorney General's office to review the amended charter. And what that review included was, one, a review to ensure that all of the changes were aligned with state law and in compliance with state law, and two, there were a lot of discussions around the rationale and ensuring that the changes, once in effect, should the charter be adopted by the voters of the city of Dearborn, wouldn't run into potential obstacles or legal issues. While it took some time, I'm happy to report that none of the revisions or modifications that were made challenged the amended language in any material suspect. A lot of the changes or modifications are either made to format or what I call massaging language to ensure that, it just read easier for a layman, to ensure that the citizens and residents who are reading the charter understand it, and so that it has easier operational applicability to city business. So we are very, very happy about that. In addition to that, we have some administrative items that we're going to handle and then discuss the next steps and some of the high-level planning for the commission's efforts related to voter education and outreach. Are there any other administrative or maintenance announcements from the commission? Okay, seeing none, for those who can, we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You want to add the?
Thank you. We took care of all the older meeting minutes that we needed to approve at the last meeting. Commissioners Hashem and Harrison are monitoring our live streams on Zoom and Facebook. So if you have any comments, please submit them there. And of course, as always, ensure that they are directly related to the commission's business. And if you have any questions, we'll do our best to address them or follow up with you.
Didn't we have 1 minute, one set of minutes to be approved, or no?
I don't believe so. The last set? Oh, yes, we did. The meeting from March 6th. I apologize. Yes, the meeting minutes from March 6th were sent out, and then there was a small amendment. Are there any questions or modifications to the amendments? Or to the minutes? I'm sorry. Okay, seeing none.
I'll make a motion to adopt the minutes of March 6th.
We have an offer by Commissioner O'Connor to adopt the minutes.
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Hawkins. Any objection to unanimous roll being attached? Seeing none, so be it. Great. Next on the agenda is the resolution for adoption of the amended charter, which is in front of you. So, Tracy, walk me through this again. Am I reading into the resolution or the clerk reading into it? I believe last time the way we did it is I put a motion forward to adopt this resolution, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll support the motion when you put it forward.
Okay, thank you in advance, Commissioner Hashem. So the resolution shall state, it is resolved that the Charter Commission of the City of Dearborn, I'm sorry, no, that is not what I'm reading. Let me make sure.
Yes.
Am I reading that bottom right?
Start with the resolve. Yes.
Correct, okay. It is resolved that the Charter Commission of the City of Dearborn does hereby adopt the attached instrument as the revised city charter in place of the previously adopted charter adopted November 6, 2007, revised city charter of the City of Dearborn, and the clerk of this commission is hereby instructed to do the following. 1, transmit the same to the governor of the state of Michigan in accordance with the provisions of Act Number 279 of the Public Acts of 1909 for her approval. 2, file with the city clerk a copy of this proposed city charter. 3, request the city clerk, the county clerk, and other public officials that this proposed city charter shall be submitted to a vote of the qualified electors of the city at an election to be held on Tuesday, August 6, 2024, or at such other date for this election as shall be scheduled by the city clerk in consultation with the Wayne County clerk and other appropriate public officials, and with the following ballot question. Shall a charter proposed by the Dearborn Charter Commission be adopted, with the options of yes or no? Number 4, request that this proposed city charter to be published online and copies made available at the city clerk's office after approval by the governor of the state of Michigan. This resolution was adopted by the following roll call vote. Mr. Clerk, will you please take a roll call vote?
I will take the roll call vote in reverse order. So Commissioner O'Cray,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Connor,
Yes.
Commissioner Hawkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Harrison,
Yes.
Commissioner Hashem,
Yes.
Commissioner Dolmage,
Yes.
Commissioner Dudgeon,
Yes.
Commissioner Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Abdullah,
Yes.
9 yeas. I'm on a different meeting. 9
Are you
yeas,
fasting,
the
George?
resolution passes.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk, and a It's 9.
It's 9.
Yeah, and a formal congratulations to the commission on this milestone. Okay, thank you. That's great. Excellent. All right, moving on to the a quick item is between our last meeting and this meeting, and as a follow-up to some of the discussion that we had at the end of our last meeting, Commissioner Bailey expressed that she, due to personal conflict, will be resigning from the commission. Following that proclamation, I wanted to ensure with Corporation Counsel the proper administrative process that we would have to follow. And as such, I wanted to make sure that the public was aware of the process and the discussion that was had. So the state law states that the Charter Commission is essentially responsible for adopting any rules that it has as it pertains to the administration of its meetings, which means, what rules are we following to run our meetings, which we adopted Robert's Rules of Order, and then we had some additional rules that we've adopted to other items. As it pertains to resignations, the current City Charter Commission's rules did not speak to that, and as such, Robert's rules state that the duties must not be abandoned until a resolution has been accepted and becomes effective. So therefore, now that we've received the resignation the resignation from Commissioner Bailey via email, which is a proper notice, what would happen is I would announce it and assume a motion that the resignation would be accepted with unanimous consent unless there is any objection. Then the motion to be excused from duty should proceed to a vote, and it would require a majority vote. At that time, Commissioner Bailey would be relieved of her duties, should it be accepted by a majority vote, and she would step out from the meeting, and that would be it. Now, I wanted to also disclose to the commission, I had an opportunity to have a private discussion with Commissioner Bailey. I have full confidence that her resignation is not by any means an objection to the work of the charter or to the charter itself, as is shown by her vote to the resolution of adopting our new charter. I have full confidence that in any reasonable manner that she can, given some of her capacity limitations that are upcoming, she will, work to have a positive impact on the vote for the charter, and more importantly, highlight the tremendous amount of work that Commissioner Bailey put in to the entire process. So again, I've had that conversation with her. I have full confidence in that and have no objection to the resignation itself. Are there any other comments or questions at this time? Commissioner Bailey?
Yeah, if I could just take a moment to really underscore how much respect I have for the integrity of the Charter Commission, and how important it is to me that the work that this commission has put in will be presented to the voters, and that the voters will give it due consideration. And in that consideration, I truly believe that this is the charter that is best for the city. I have utmost respect for all of my colleagues and all of the hard work that we've all put into this. I have renewed respect for the process and for the challenges associated with public office. I am looking forward to doing what I can within limitations to capacity to support the charter passing, and I look forward to living in the Dearborn that this charter will help create.
Excellent. Thank you, Commissioner Bailey. With that, I will put forth, Commissioner Hawkins?
Sorry, I just want to say thank you to Commissioner Bailey for all the hard work. I mean, she is the one that did a lot of the research, created documents that we use in this, and we could not have had the successful discussions, positive discussions, challenging conversations without her work, and I want to tell her that her work is definitely appreciated.
Any further comments? Vice Chair?
I also would like to thank her for all the work she put in, and for her being having courageous conversations, I guess is a good way to put it, and for all the hard work. And I cannot believe how much time you can spend in front of documentation and looking at the little things. When I'm just amazed at your work and your diligence and all the effort you put forth, and I really, truly appreciate it.
Anyone else?
Yes.
Commissioner Hashem?
Again, I want to echo what the commissioner said. Thank you, Commissioner Bailey, for everything that you have done. We appreciate your work. It was such a great partnership to produce such an amazing document that the AG office wasn't able to find a mistake in it. So that's something we should all be proud of. The other question is to the chair. So what's the process after the resignation? Are we, because...
I'm going to get to that right
Oh,
after.
you're gonna
Yep,
get to
I'm
that
gonna get to that
because-
right after, yep. I
Thank
just
you.
want to kind of formally accept that, and then I'll get to that separately. Okay, on that note, I'll take a comment shortly, sir. On that note, if there was ever a time in maybe especially in local city government where you could look at a body of 9 people that come from very, very different backgrounds, and I will speak specifically about myself and Commissioner Bailey, we probably couldn't be more polar opposites across many, many verticals. And there were several issues that we not only disagreed on, but there probably isn't enough time on earth to get us to agree on. And that's okay. That's the beauty of government and the government that we have. And I think of all the learning lessons that you take away from this time is that there is still place in government to have constructive, critical dialogue where you can challenge one another and yet come to an agreement that the work here is greater than any one individual. And as such, we've produced a charter that, to Commissioner Hashem's point, saw very little challenges from the AG's office. They were very proud of our Oxford comma placement throughout the entire charter. And so, I commend you all for those efforts. Okay, on that, I will put a motion on the table that has already been pre-seconded by Commissioner Hashem to accept the resignation of Commissioner Bailey and relieve her of her duties immediately. And Mr. Clerk, I'd like a roll call vote on that.
Say I second. So
Okay.
it's good.
Commissioner Hashem?
Yes.
Commissioner Harrison?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Connor?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Cray?
With great hesitancy, I say yes.
Commissioner Dudgeon?
Regretfully, yes.
Commissioner Hawkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Bailey?
I didn't know I got to vote yes.
Commissioner Dolmich?
Yes.
Chairman Abdullah?
Yes.
9 yeas, it is unanimous.
Commissioner Bailey, you are officially relieved of your duties.
Jeez.
You are
you
welcome
so
to stay
much.
in a public capacity.
Yes. Thank you so much for all your
Thank you.
work. Appreciate it.
So on that note, I know at the last meeting, we discussed not only creating a formal, some formality around our recognition of Dr. Bailey's work. I have to call you Dr. Bailey now, no longer Commissioner Bailey. And we will certainly do so. I will, between now and our next meeting, unfortunately, I just haven't had the chance, work to ensure that we have a kind of certificate or an informal proclamation for Dr. Bailey. So we'll make sure to get that to you. Okay, go ahead, Elizabeth. So as it relates to the vacancy, state law states that the commission may choose to fulfill the position. I have a very strong opinion about that, in which I don't feel that, one, we should or that it's necessary. And specifically, my reasoning is that
We're done.
essentially the work is done. And in any capacity that someone can come on right now to help us in a grassroots effort, I certainly think that they can do that in their capacity as a public, just a member of the public. I mean, even if that was to mean that we would choose to, create, God dare I say it, another subcommittee related to our educational and grassroots efforts, then we can do that. But in the capacity of a commissioner, specifically to the work, I don't see the effectiveness of fulfilling the vacancy with anyone, but I'm happy to open that discussion. I'm gonna go back to Commissioner Hashem because he did have that comment earlier, and then I'll go to Commissioner Dudgeon.
Thank you for the opportunity. So, based on the last commission that they had, because they had the situation happen,
Yeah.
they had somebody else step in, and usually the law is whoever is the next highest vote getter, which is.
We actually, in this situation, I don't believe that is necessarily the fact. I think we may have the opportunity to. I'll
That's
check.
from what I researched.
Select, correct.
Yeah.
But I'll check into that.
But, I'm fine with whatever the commission decides on. I mean, we always made a decision as a group, but, it's good for the grassroots to have somebody, especially if they have a good, network that will help us, pass the charter. But, again, whatever you guys decide, I will support.
Sure. Commissioner Dudgeon?
Okay, first I'd like to question that our very first meeting, we voted to replace any vacancies with the next vote getter, which everyone knows is Kim Ishmael.
Yeah, Kimberly, yeah.
Yes, and Kimberly. And
Yeah.
I think she would be an asset. We've got 5 months left.
Mhm.
And she would be an asset. She would also give us an odd number, should there be, an evenly split commission, even though I know it's got to be 5. But it would give us 5, one way or the other, minus somebody abstaining. But I think that she does have a wonderful network that would help us to spread the word about the charter being, one of our goals is to get as much publicity out there about this coming up on the ballot. So I personally would move to go and follow our rules that we voted on and replace Beth with Kimberly Ishmael.
Thank you, Commissioner Dudgeon. Two quick comments. One, my position on it is in no means a vote of lack of confidence in any specific individual. It's simply about just the process that's going forward. Two, I do not specifically, I can't say in confidence what we specifically voted on, not to say that we didn't, but I would at least want to ensure that that is what we voted on, so I would have to go back
To our first minutes.
to our first meeting minutes.
Very first minute
and I'll-
meeting
and I'll,
minutes, and it's in there unanimous.
I'll see if I can pull, I'll try to pull that up right now while we're having this discussion, because I do see that there's some additional comments. And was it Dr. Hawkins? Did you have a comment? Yep, Commissioner Hawkins, go ahead.
I couldn't stop choking, I'm sorry. Our work is done. Our charter is heading to the governor for signature, so I think our primary work for the charter is done. The goal is just to make sure that voters have information about the charter, so I'm not sure bringing on somebody else at this point, other than having that person's name as a charter, because they won't be on the charter as a member, because it's already been voted, the resolution's done. I'm not sure the benefit, other than just having a series of 9. I truly don't think there's going to be any items to vote on since we've pushed it onto the governor's desk. So I support keeping it as is.
And while I do support the sentiment, I am a larger supporter of rules and approved decisions. And as Commissioner Dudgeon has recalled, it is correct. On the meeting minutes of our first meeting, November 16th of 2021, a motion was made by Commissioner O'Crane, supported by Commissioner Dudgeon, that in the event that a vacancy occurs on the Charter Commission, the candidate not elected receiving the highest number of votes for the Charter Commission in the preceding election, who is qualified and will accept the position, shall be appointed to fill the vacancy. The motion passed unanimously. Just by means of an administrative process, I'll direct this to the clerk. The wording is just throwing me off, because it says it's an appointment, but I don't necessarily think it's an appointment, right? Is it? Or is it, they're just,
It's an automatic.
it's an automatic,
Yeah.
right, that's my point.
The same thing happened to me when I was on the council.
Right.
And I got automatically, I ascended. into-
Right, that's what I was,
Yeah.
it's just, that's,
Technically, it's
like it
called an
happened.
appointment because you're not elected.
Exactly.
got it, okay, so
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to clarify, because,
And then the only thing about the qualifications would be that once people are elected, Clerk Delaney checks with the Treasury to ensure
that
that
they're
the
not
monies
in
are owed to the
default,
city.
correct, right.
So that's all
So,
we would need to do.
so no formal motion has to be made to appoint, is my point. Because it's an automatic ascension
Yes.
to the seat. Okay, very
Legal
good.
question.
So,
Yeah.
assuming that Ms. Ishmael will meet those qualifications, then she would take her position on the commission at the next meeting, correct?
I would definitely get a clarification. I would agree with you, but I would have Jeremy.
I will make sure.
Corporation Counsel
I will make sure to
clarify.
run that with
Yeah.
Corporation Counsel
Yeah.
as well, yep. I'll run that by you.
I'm only saying, I'm just reading the MCL 117.20, and I don't know if it conflicts with what was initially voted on
Passed.
at the first meeting, but it does say on here that the commission may, the commission may fill a vacancy in its membership and shall fix the time for the submission of the charter to the electors. I don't know if it has, this one says may, and you guys voted on the first meeting that it's an automatic appointment, so I don't know if there's a conflict there.
Yeah, the language says the commission may fill a vacancy in member and fix the time of the submission to the electors. A member shall not receive. Yeah. So I think, personally, I don't think there's a conflict, but again, I'll make sure to run it formally through you and Jeremy, just to give you guys some additional time to consult it, because it's saying we may, and in our first meeting, we already did elect that. Yeah, we elected that, so my assumption is I just want to make sure, what would need to happen procedurally to qualify, quote unquote, her between now and the next meeting. And whether the next meeting is the most appropriate, I don't know. I'll handle that with the clerk.
And then assuming that she wants to do it,
That's the
then
other
you'd
thing
have to
too.
go down the list.
Then you would have to go down the list, that is correct. Because it does say who is qualified and will accept the position.
Right.
So she very much has the complete right to reject the automatic appointment. Okay, Commissioner O'Connor?
So if we approve that, it will be the city clerk that would then contact her.
Correct.
And I would just like to include that if we approve Ms. Ishmael to be appointed, that she be fully informed that we have completed the review, the submission, passed the resolution, and that she is completely understanding that virtually the decision-making as it relates to
The
the
language.
changes in the charter
Mhm.
is complete, so that she is coming on, after that point. And then if she swears in, then that's her choice. And obviously, she can deny
Yeah.
or decline. But I just want to make sure that she is fully informed, that she knows the status and doesn't, say that she's next in line and just get onto the charter
Yep.
and come to the first meeting and go, oh, you're all done, wait a minute.
What am I doing?
On that note,
I actually think she's been watching.
yeah, she has. I've spoken to Kimberly a few times during our term. I certainly think, maybe while
I
not
did
being
warn her.
completely up to date, I think she has a decent pulse on where we are. And following the qualification by the city clerk, I will commit to meeting with Commissioner to-be Ishmael, or Ms. Ishmael, and, kind of give her a onboarding of some sorts to just go through what it was that was discussed, and mainly what the next steps really look like and what the expectations are from the commission in that capacity. Okay?
I'll put a second on the motion.
We don't need a motion.
Need one?
Yeah.
There's no motion.
Because it's the rule.
No
Just
meeting.
happens.
We've
It's
decided it
automatic
as an
ascension.
administrative rule of the commission, so it naturally just takes place. Vice Chair Dalmage?
This commission some people on this commission, not me, spent a lot of time interviewing people for that community engagement
Yeah.
group. Can you please tell me what the status of that is and how we're going to use them? I don't even know who they are anymore, very
Yeah, so
honestly.
I think the initial fulfillment of their obligations was the community survey that we put out. And then now is really the time where we plan to re-engage that group to
That's-
assist us with all of our grassroots efforts. So I would like to get the formal governor approval and get that done, and then engage them especially, I don't want to engage them too far out from the election time, because really the effectiveness is going to come down. So, but we fully expect to re-engage that group. Okay. The last thing on the agenda and is, this has been a continuous discussion, but of course is just related to any new ideas, thoughts related to our grassroots and voter education efforts. Commissioner Hawkins and Vice Chair Dalmage had brought to my attention that the Homecoming Festival could be a great opportunity for the commission, and I agree. So I will make sure to reach out to the powers that be to ensure, to see what we can do to get a table and a presence there. Yeah, and then we'll organize, between ourselves before now and then, how we want to handle it. Is there anything else on that regard?
I just have one comment. When we get the printed material, whatever that is, I will be very happy to take it to all the places that I think it should go, like the chambers and some libraries, like I previously, and Access and different places. I mean, I have the time I'm off on Monday, so
Excellent.
I'm free to drive around and do all of that stuff.
Awesome. Commissioner Hashem?
Thank you. For me, I need a clear legal opinion on what we can and we cannot do. Are we able to advocate for a yes vote, or it's just educational? Because some of them, talk that happened in the commission before, that look at the school board, they're not able, but look at the school board, they endorsed it actually, you know what I mean? And they sent, even the pictures of the trustees were on commercials for a yes vote for the operational millage for the school. So I really need like a clear-cut legal opinion on what we can and we cannot do as commissioners when it comes to campaigning for the charter.
I will.
I think this is this is where we should start.
Sure, I will be sure.
Because then
to
we
obtain
can,
that.
you know, strategize how
Yeah.
we're gonna do things.
Absolutely, and I think between now and then, between that and the administrative part of the vacancy, and of course awaiting the governor's approval, then we can schedule, because we don't have a scheduled meeting until June, but then we can schedule a special meeting to take action as necessary.
What is our termination date of the commission?
August.
Is it August?
Yep.
I thought it was October.
No, it's August. It is August, yes.
Even
I don't know
better.
the exact, I don't know the exact date, but it is August of 2024.
Yeah, I think it's August 3rd, but we
It's
can.
I
the
believe
date of
so.
that
I believe so.
Election that,
We actually, our term expires prior to the election date, that's all I know.
Okay.
Yeah. The 3rd, is it?
Well, the election date is the 6th.
Right, I know, but
then
our-
you guys were elected on the 4th.
I
so it
agree.
expires
I
on the
think it's
3rd.
the
be the
3rd.
third.
So 3rd of
So-
August?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
so
We're
after,
unemployed.
so after the 3rd of August, we're
So
not
at
officially
homecoming-
commissioners, so we
So
can do whatever we
Yeah, at
want.
homecoming, we could
Right.
not
Well,
commission yet,
What?
because we're
Well,
not.
we
we're
would
not
have,
commissioned.
you only have days left. Yeah, so hold on, one second, guys, let's just,
If we're talking legally, you know.
hold on. So,
Oh, you should-
after August, though, we would have no capacity as a
No
commission.
capacity as a commission.
Right. So there would be no way, other than what's included in the charter, to put that back on the ballot, should it, if it were to fail.
We're going for November, right?
No, August.
Oh, we're going for August?
Yeah,
When
the
did you
election is in
change?
August, yes, yeah. Commissioner O'Connor?
I was under the impression that we're doing in November, so.
I believe the city council could put it.
Yes, that's what I said, so,
Okay.
other than what's already included in the charter, we as a commission would have no
Okay.
capacity
Yeah.
to do that.
And yeah.
Okay, any
would
further
not be-
comments, questions? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, since Best is not here.
Oh,
It's offered by Commissioner Hashem, seconded by Commissioner O'Cray. Unanimous roll will be attached. We are adjourned at 6:34.
Wow.
another great meeting.